welcome to Montreal Rocks. And today we have with us in studio the Guidestones. Now, if you haven't heard the Guidestones or seen them live, do yourself a favor. I've seen them a couple times. In fact, I want to talk about this because you guys did something on stage at one of the events that I've never seen before, which I thought was the coolest idea ever. You're playing with Les Shirley.
Yeah.
And basically both bands played, and at the end you guys came together and basically it turned into a super band karaoke party.
Well, that's something that we do all the time with the Shirleys and other friends and the boys' friends at the jam space. We do that, I don't know, a couple of times a month, and we're like, why don't we do that on stage?
It was so fun because at the end you're kind of like, oh, I wish there was more. So this
it's great.
It was like a whole new show.
Well, we appreciate that. That's awesome that you enjoyed it that much. We were actually sharing a jam space with the girls for a while with the Shirleys, and so we got super tight with them, and we've been friends with them for a while. So as essentially when we got the show that we're going to do this together, we were like, well, at the end, why don't we just play a bunch of songs together, like as if we were in the jam space already?
Exactly.
And people seem to like. I mean, you're kind of proof of that with what you just said, but people seem to really
stuck around.
Well, it just gave a sense of like sort of like this like I don't know. It made it more intimate. Like it was kind of like more of a family vibe.
Yeah, it wasn't like a show that like first act, second act, and then like like the show is done. It was really like let's have a party together. We're all friends. Let's have a party and just like. I think we did like 3 songs.
Yeah, it was like three or four songs.
Remember.
And we thought about that, like, should we add more? And we're like, nah, like we need to let it like 3 songs and just like that's it. It was just fun, like little surprise at the end.
I think in Montreal too, like people really react to that sense of like they like when there's like a feeling of community with people.
Yeah.
And with them, that's. Maybe that's why it went off so well. It's because it's not like fake or anything like that. Like we're super good friends with them, so it really wasn't anything that we didn't really talk about it more than like 5 minutes. We're just like, let's do it. And we had a great time there. And they're friends of ours. We had a couple other friends of ours. A guy named Nathan who came and played keyboards with us. Was on the record, and that was a really fun show. Funny tidbit about that show, actually, now that you bring it up, that was our last show before the pandemic. Actually.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so like I don't like to think about it. I've kind of erased it, but it's like almost like a year and a half plus now since that.
2 years.
Yeah.
So it's like wild to even think about that. It does feel like a long time ago, but we plan on doing a lot more stuff like that coming up now, especially with the capacity limits that are going to get lifted starting in November. Perfect timing because we have our launch show on the 3rd for the record. At Valmute, so we expect some more cool stuff like that for sure.
Yeah,
I think the last time I met you guys was on the rooftop at in Verdun. Was it Hell for Breakfast?
Slam barbecue party.
Yeah,
we did that.
I forgot. That was like the acoustic thing.
Acoustic thing.
Yeah, so those are always fun. I look forward to those too.
Yeah.
Let's get to know you as a band. So first of all, I want you to introduce yourself. We'll start. I guess. I was going to say left to right, but it's probably reverse for you. But let's say
left to your left.
We'll start with that.
Yeah, well, what's up? I'm Dizzy. I play bass for Guidestones, and I mean,
he's also the band psychologist.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
he is.
The COVID has been hard. Not like it's been mentally hard for some members, and I'm the psychiatrist in the band.
He's the glue.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, we'll definitely go there. But next up.
I'm Gab. I'm singer, guitar player. I write the songs with the boys, mostly with Ryan and Zender.
Ryan is not here right now.
But Disney recently started to write the songs too with us, which is great. I don't know. We all do so much in the band. It's like I don't even know.
I don't really want to. I don't want to go past like what we are. Like our direct roles in the band because there's like so much boring stuff on the back end of it. So I'm not going to bore anybody that's luckily listening to this. So I'll go now. My name is Xander. Play the drums in the band, and I do a ton of other stuff. And my brother Ryan, who's my twin brother, who's also in the band, who's not here for the moment, is the other vocalist, guitar player in the band.
Yeah.
And I mean, you guys are known for your live shows. I just really enjoyed my time, and I'm so happy that you guys have a new record. It's behind me, that side. Just listening today, it's called Hey.
Hang tight, yeah.
Hang tight.
Keeps me up. Is Hang Tight is one of the songs I was actually listening to last,
That's a new single.
That's the single.
and I actually really enjoyed. I think it was Ways of Old. One of my favorite ones. It seemed like very dreamy in the middle, like a really cool little solo, just kind of going all over the place. But to me, the whole album felt like it felt like 80s and 90s Shom FM.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I guess then that means that we definitely nailed what we were trying to go for. Because
It's a
like,
compliment.
yeah, because we like whenever people ask us about that, especially before the record's released, like it's such a hard question to answer. I personally, anyways, for me, if I get asked like, well, what does it sound like? How would you describe it? And it's a difficult thing to do, but we always refer to like Bryan Adams or old radio rock that like Bon Jovi, like any of the radio rock stuff that was like sort of the golden era, I would say, of radio rock music.
Yeah.
All the stuff that we listened to growing up. So you saying that it sounds like essentially exactly that is really nice to hear.
Yeah.
And really, like if people don't know, if the listeners are not from Montreal, Shom FM is basically your classic rock station that's been around for decades and decades.
The biggest rock station in the country.
That's one of the first ones. It used to be, even before that, it used to be called CKGM. I learned.
Yeah.
When they were in the basement or something. Yeah.
I was talking with Men Without Hats with Ivan, and he was talking back in the day, and I'm his age almost, or close. So we're talking about actually listening to it before it was even called Shom FM. So it's been around for a long time.
Well, we appreciate the compliment, and like that's essentially what we were going for. Ways of Old, interestingly enough, was actually a song that was on our first EP, like the first release we ever put out as a band, of 4 songs, which is like a couple of years ago now. Ways of Old is actually on there, and we felt like when we started to sort of approach this record that we hadn't. It was a song that we wanted to make. We felt like we didn't capture it like to its full potential yet. We still felt like there was a way to make it better, and we loved the song so much that we just didn't want to leave it out of this full length. So we decided to retrack it, make a couple little changes, but it's essentially that's one of my favorite songs from the record too.
And Ground Control is obviously the first single.
Yeah.
And with the accompanying video, so I'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah. Oh, about that. Most of the videos we do it ourselves. So Ground Control is one of the videos that Xander realized.
Well, like we essentially, it was like sort of DIY vibes for all of our videos that we've done for this album. Like there's 4 of them that are out now, Ground Control being the first one that we did, and we really did it all ourselves. Like we just said, like, you know what, like we took a phone and it was one shot,
a pickup truck.
Yeah, 5 people in the back of a pickup truck just like throwing stuff at us. And we had one take to get it right, because we bought like $400 worth of like water balloons and paintballs and stuff.
Yeah, one take.
Yeah, so we sort of did like we did 2 or 3 dry runs to get the timing down.
Yeah.
And then we went for it.
Because it's a plan séquence, but it's like accelerated.
Yeah, well, yeah. So it's
so
it was actually we filmed it. We wanted to get a slow motion effect for that video. So the way that we did that is we played this. We played the song back at like 150% of the speed. So while we were shooting, so it was like really quick, so all the cues would line up, especially with like
the paintball on you.
Yeah,
with the symbol, shield.
Yeah,
he was like
took an old
protecting
symbol.
us.
But
I definitely have to rewatch that with that knowledge now.
Check it out, man. It's
all
really
the videos, like So Sick. Also, the boys did it. Hang Tight, we did it, the 4 of us.
But we talked about COVID.
Yeah.
And we talked about you kind of doing this video DIY, but that's a bit of a theme of your 2021, isn't it? You guys took this time where, I mean, we can either, react, or you can, maybe think about how you want to be as a band. And I think what you guys did was you kind of took the reins, you kind of worked on the business, you kind of worked on the foundation of the band. So you
definitely.
Yeah, we kind of like got like tired of, you know, knocking on doors of like people and, you know, like, oh, like booking agents, whatever. And like, it's the hardest part for any bands. It's like, you have a product in your hands that you're so proud of, and then you want to share it to the world. And then at one point we're like, we're losing our time trying to get like to build a team with us. So we kind of just went like, you know what, let's just do it ourselves.
Yeah.
And it's more time, it's a lot of stress, it's a lot of work. It's because we all have jobs too, and it's a lot of work, but at the same time it's the kind of job that you like doing. You like coming back home at 11 at night, you're like, all right, I got 4 hours to work on the video clip, and but like you do it with a smile on your face because you know you're gonna be proud of your result because it's your own result.
Well, and that's the thing, is like, it's, especially being a band, like not only now it's even worse than before, but it really, being in a band is like you're just accepting that you're essentially an entrepreneur now. Like it's not really like a musician. You know what I'm saying? Like it's really not that anymore. Unless you're willing to accept that part of it, like you're gonna stay in your garage, you know. And for us, like we spent so much time with this record that we killed ourselves like putting together, and we put so much work into it that we didn't want to just throw it into the wind, and that caused us like a lot of time, a lot of like Dizzy was saying, a lot of stress, a lot of knocking on doors, a lot of
anxiety.
Yeah, and then but then we realized like every time that instead of doing that we've taken things into our own hands and sort of done our things ourselves, that it's always been exactly what we wanted. Like we've always gone like, you know, so that's kind of the theme of this record in general, to be quite honest. Like it's really DIY, like and we're so
hang tight.
Yeah, well, hang tight too.
Is like it wasn't on the album.
No.
We had a 9-song album we were gonna release, and then we had so much time during COVID, we started writing new songs, and Hang Tight felt like it was just the song that was just gonna wrap it up. And we wanted something new because we had put out a few singles, and we were like, okay, why don't we try to record everything ourselves? So we learned how to record music. We did it ourselves. We got it mixed by Dave Trena from The Damn Truth, like the rest of the album. But that we were really proud.
Like I mean, so yeah, like that last song, like "Oh Hang Tight," is like it gave us an even 10 songs, which was great. And since we had done the whole record with Dave Trena at Freak Shop in Montreal, we essentially got him all of the raw tracks of the single, and he put it together and made it fit with the rest of the record. So and it's really symbolic, really. Even if the name of the single, "Hang Tight," it's like that's essentially what we've been doing this entire time.
Well, I think every song has a message, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, it does, and that's why we were so happy that it came out as a full-length record, as opposed to just like continual singles and like here's a single, here's another single, just trying to juice it for its, you know, like for the most it can give you. When in fact, like the songs that we have, they work the best when they're together as a unit. And you know, if you come across Hang Tight, or say example Ways of Old, like you mentioned before, like you're not getting the full scope of our band anyways. Like it's impossible to capture essentially what we're doing in one song. So the fact that it comes out as a record, as a block of stuff that you can go in and listen to it back to back, like you said, every song really is its own thing, yet still tied together, and it follows really the last couple of years of our lives individually as well as a band. So we're really happy, and I feel like there's, in my opinion, like there's no filler. That's why we kept it to 10 songs, because we felt like, you know, each of those songs had a purpose.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about the name. I normally never ask this question if I can easily find it, but I have not been able to find it. So tell me the origin story about the name Guidestone.
That's gonna be a Zender question for sure.
Guidestones originally, like I have a lot of friends that at a certain point they were traveling all over the place. Like they were like going like deep hikes into the woods, like treks, like really serious stuff, like professional level stuff. And they were explaining to me that like in the trails that are like deep in the woods that are like really off the beaten path for people that are like out of their minds, there's like other hikers that were there before you. Along the trail of those paths, they leave markers to signal, to tell you that you're on the world, where you are, that you're going the right way or whatnot. And they're called Guidestones. So essentially for us, like these songs, they're kind of guidestones to like our lives. Like they're just moments in time of something that was going on at that point. You know, and it's sort of a marker, really, like a tattoo or like anything like that. It's like a moment in time. So like the band is kind of that. It's been very much introspective as far as the music's concerned, but overall, it's really it's like a map, kind of, really, of like of us as
Of
people.
our lives.
Yeah, so Guidestones is kind of that, really.
Have you heard of the Georgia Guidestones?
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
super stoked you asked me that, because I absolutely have heard of that. And I'd be lying if I wasn't inspired a little bit by that, because I definitely was aware of what it was. That's a little, I would love your listeners to go and check that out, because it's a very interesting deep dive.
Oh yeah, if you haven't heard about it, in 1979, this like mini Stonehenge just kind of appeared,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
on
yeah.
it, it's like these lists, like 10 things, guides for a better world,
Uh-huh.
in different languages, a couple which don't even exist anymore.
Yep.
And I'm gonna read you a few of them, just so get our head around it. So some of them were like balance personal rights with social duties,
Yeah.
unite humanity with a living new language,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
leave room for nature.
Yes.
Now, if your band was able to contribute one instruction for a better world, what would that be?
Leave room for nature.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I would
For
say,
me.
if I could make one up like out of nowhere, just like a new one, I would say, how do I say this?
We
I
also
mean, the nature one is really great. I think that works a lot with the record, actually.
I know there's one quote about respect. I don't know the exact quote, but there's one about respect of other people,
Yeah.
and I feel like this band is exactly this. I mean, me and Xander were having this talk yesterday night about like our ways of, like, the way we see certain kind of things are so different, but the fact that we respect each other, we like, you know, like it's never like an argument. It's always to like make someone else grow and see like something else that maybe didn't see.
That's actually a good point, man.
And I feel like this is for me the main point, the core of the band. Sorry, there's the Jesus beer that's coming.
Yeah. No, I mean,
whoa,
Yeah.
it's a miracle.
But yeah, I feel like respect it, and like just we're so different in the band, but we're all reaching at the same place, that it's music. and
well, that's another thing with this album. Like, it's for us. I mean, it's crazy that it's today, but like I still can't really believe that it actually is out. To be honest, like, it's like, in my mind, like, there's a million reasons why this should have never happened. Getting the four of us together, you know, through ups and downs and all kinds of crazy stuff over the last while. Yet, you know, because of what Dizzy just said, we've maintained a base level of trust in each other and respect that, even when there's been arguments and tough times, that we're still, we never get to a certain point of like hurting each other. We still want the best for each other. And I think that also, that perseverance is definitely a big part of the record too.
And of course, you like to share hats.
Yeah. Well, hats are.
We do love hats.
Well, hats.
We love the hats.
That's actually my side gig. So if you guys want to know about that, I have a company that I make fully custom tailored hats. Yeah, like
I normally see Gab with the hat, and
I always have a hat.
Yeah,
he's the mastermind behind it.
And he makes all my hats.
I make all of those. Yeah.
okay. Oh, cool. And I know that I think your brother sometimes wears them, or is it you?
Well, no,
We all wear the
we all
hats.
wear them. 'Cause actually, I make them.
We
Like,
all
I make
wear
them.
the
I sell them through Instagram and everything like that. I actually have a company on the side where I make hats. So any hats you see on us, it's all for me.
Cool.
This one is the one Xander made for
Yeah,
me.
that's actually one I got for Disney. That was for his birthday.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is that I don't know if you could see it, but there's like the initial in it.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it's like always custom. And like when we were in a bar once, and I'm like, man, like I wanna have a hat, and I want it in like that kind of color. Just like, dude, shut up.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll take care of it.
like you don't tell me anything. Like, I'm gonna make you a hat you'll be happy
Yeah.
with, and it's exactly what happens.
Everybody in this band sort of,
Hat.
no pun intended. Everybody sort of wears different hats. To be honest with you.
There's the life link right there.
So we'll have to talk. We'll get you one. We'll have to get you one.
Oh yeah.
I'll have my going to concerts and my going to concerts hat.
Oh,
I want to play a game with you guys before we shut this down. I like to play. I'm not a big sports guy. I like live music. I like music is really what I'm into. So you've probably heard of fantasy football, fantasy hockey, and all those. I like to play fantasy rock band.
Okay.
I want you guys to create the ultimate rock band. We need a singer, guitarist, bass player, and drums. Maybe somebody else, I don't know, but that's our core. That's what we got to work with. Who are you going to choose?
For rock music, or like it can be in any kind of style, or
I've seen people mix up jazz and rock. We want the ultimate band.
Wow.
I would like to have Thundercat on the bass, any kind of band.
Thundercat.
Like he did like Anderson .Paak, he did Mac Miller, he was the bass player for Kendrick Lamar, and just an epic bass player. Like he's just a character, this guy. So yeah.
Because I'm like an old because I'm like I don't know, an 80s rock thrash guy, metal guy, or whatever. I'm a drummer, so I'm gonna go with Ozzy's old drummer Randy Castillo on the drums, because he was like one of my biggest influences. If not him, then probably Tommy Aldridge, who also played with Ozzy and Whitesnake. Because I think he's like 74 years old right now still, and he's like killing it still. He did a drum clinic in Quebec like a couple of years ago, and like he did a bunch of the Whitesnake stuff. And this guy is like, he's like better than drummers that are like a third of his age. Like it's unbelievable, this guy. So I would say on the drums, like there's no, the guy's a machine. So I'll go Tommy Aldridge on the drums.
Yeah, I think with these two, it would be really weird and nice to see like Stevie Nicks or Hayley Williams.
Yeah.
Carney Barnett
as a singer. That would be really weird.
Sick.
That would be sick.
I just feel like Hayley Williams can sing anything. That's why.
Yeah, I know. She's
Yeah.
great.
To people that doesn't know, she's a singer from Paramore.
Yeah.
Just stating the
She's
obvious.
unbelievable. Another what about David
What about Joe Dart?
David Bryan from Bon Jovi
Joe
on the
Dart.
keyboards.
Who?
David Bryan from Bon Jovi on the keyboard.
Okay, yeah. Well, let's add a keyboard there. We still need a guitarist.
Guitar player?
Oh,
I can't go with
I would say Gabrielle.
No.
you know what? I think Ryan should decide who the guitar player is.
No, we can't say another Whitesnake guy. We can't say another Whitesnake guy.
Ryan,
Yeah, I'm here doing.
who's doing
What's
guitar?
up, man? I'm doing boring stuff. Good guitar for like a rock band.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Steve Stevens
Yeah,
from
dude.
Billy Idol.
Yes, dude.
Oh,
No,
Steve Stevens.
Steve
Steve's,
Stevens.
Because you have the hair?
no, Steve Stevens is an absolute legend, and if you haven't
Yeah.
yet, and I say this as a person who only discovered this like a few years ago, and I'm mad about it. Steve Stevens, he did a solo record right when Vince Neil was kicked out of Motley Crue there for a few years in the late '80s or early '90s.
Early 90s.
Vince Neil ended up doing a solo record, and Steve Stevens was on that record. He had a bunch of Guns for Hire, and I forget what the record is called again. Vince Neil, Exposed, 91, I think it is. It's an absolute clinic in guitar playing. Like it's absolutely phenomenal, and I didn't know it existed. It's like this hidden gem, it seems, but it's absolutely amazing.
All right, so Steve Stevens on the guitar then.
There you go.
Okay, actually, just to cap it off with Steve Stevens, to tell you a cool thing about him. In the 80s, he did this he played with Billy Idol. So on Rebel Yell, the guitar solo on Rebel Yell, essentially what he did is he bought a toy ray gun from the dollar store, and he's firing it through his pickups on his guitar, and it makes like this crazy UFO sound. So that's the solo on Rebel Yell. So last Christmas, he put up like 50 of them, like a limited edition run where 50 of those ray guns like signed by Steve Stevens. So I have one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it actually goes through your guitar. It's amazing.
I actually got to see Billy Idol as an anniversary gift in was it Bourbon Street North?
Bourbon Street
New
North. Yeah.
Orleans? Oh no.
Bourbon Street North is right near her.
I thought Bourbon Street in New Orleans.
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
amazing.
that's amazing.
And yeah, and I have a plate that Billy Idol kind of made a face and signed, and he was chucking him, and I kind of grabbed one.
What?
That was years. I've been married for 30 years. I don't know. This must have been one of the early years, so it was a long time ago.
Wow. I mean, he's still going. He's still
Yeah.
going.
Still rocking.
Yeah.
Anyway, the new album, you have to listen to it. It's keeps me up. I'm so glad that we were able to have a chat. Finally got together. Finally did this officially. We keep bumping into each other. I gotta say, I love your music. I love your live show. You guys have a ton of energy. I can tell that you guys are tight because you show it on the stage. And congratulations on this release today.
Champagne!
Randall, man, thank you.
Oh, that's the dog.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's the dog
Thank you
song.
so much, man, because you've been really cool.